Welcome to this delightful county of Worcestershire. Behind me you can see the Vale of Evesham and in the distance there the Malvern Hills. In this short film, Sustainable Tourism, we'll be looking at ways in which you can make your business greener. I'm going to be talking to three businesses who have got the Green Tourism Business Award. We're going to go down and talk to Debbie Williamson at Broadway Manor Cottages and see what she did to make the changes in her self-catering business to achieve the award. Then we'll be talking to Debbie Sargent at the Cotswold Conference Centre. They have made some amazing innovations in this field. And then finally, we're going to go up to West Midlands Safari Park to talk to Bob Lawrence, the Director of Wildlife.
I am Debbie Williamson of Broadway Manor Cottages. I have 5 self-catering cottages here in Broadway.
And I understand that you've got the Silver Award for Green Tourism.
That's correct, yes. We recently applied to the Green Tourism Business Scheme and were awarded a silver.
Debbie, you've made lots of small changes that are clearly making a big difference. Is this something that other businesses could do?
Yes, it is. We've replaced a lot of the old light bulbs with the new eco-friendly light bulbs. We've also put in each of our cottages a large recycling bin into which we ask our guests to put their plastics, paper, tin cans, glass, things like that, so that they can collect it and then take it across to the green bins for recycling purposes. We've also changed our cleaning products. We now buy the eco-friendly cleaning products, which actually at the end of the day are not much more expensive than the other products that you can buy in the supermarkets.
I understand one of the things that you've introduced is a wormery. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yes, we were at a sustainable tourism conference in Kidderminster and Bubble House wormeries were there, and we were very interested in a wormery and perhaps adding to our composting that we have on site, and it seemed like a good idea. So we have a wormery now in the vegetable garden, and we basically add our compostable waste from our kitchen. And the worms seem very happy munching away on our vegetable waste and producing this lovely compost at the end of the day for us to use throughout the grounds.
Debbie, I understand that you're very active in encouraging people to leave their cars behind.
Yes, we've produced a leaflet entitled Have a Car-Free Day, and we recommend that our guests do leave the car here and that they walk into the village or perhaps walk up to Broadway Tower. They can also walk to our local gravel pit, which is a nature reserve, and indeed across in our field we have the Witchaven Way, so they could join the Witchaven Way here and walk through to Evesham and on into Droitwich Spa.
Why did you decide to go for the Green Tourism Award?
I heard about it at a sustainable tourism conference held by Destination Worcestershire and felt that there were a lot of things that the award encompasses that we were already doing. So I came home and reflected on what we're doing here on site and realised that we're doing things like recycling, encouraging our guests to shop locally, leave their car here and enjoy a walk in the local countryside. And through that I decided then that yes, we should apply for the GTBS award.
Worcestershire is blessed with delicious fruit and vegetables, homegrown foods of all kinds, cheeses, wines, meats and so on. You need to be buying locally, support the local businesses and give your visitors a delightful taste experience. Debbie, you've done a lot of inspirational things here at Broadway Manor, but how do you get your visitors to buy into it?
We do everything we can to make our guests aware that we are a green destination. It's on our website, it's in our guest folders, and also by just chatting to our guests about the things that we do here.
So ask yourself these questions to see how green you really are. Do you reduce, reuse, recycle? Do you encourage your visitors to leave their cars behind and use alternative forms of transport? Hopefully you are already shopping locally and buying local goods to save on the food miles, and you use eco-friendly products and supplies. And what about your business practices? Are you really up to date with all the social media, e-marketing and online bookings? These are so good for saving time and of course saving paper. The Green Code encourages us all to save water. Did you know that a running tap uses 6 litres of water a minute and a dripping tap 15 litres of water a day? So we need to make sure our taps are fixed and we need to turn them off. A great way to conserve water is to invest in a water butt. And you can collect the rainwater, which you can use for the garden and for washing your car. Definitely cut back on using hose pipes. So you might be asking yourselves, well, why bother? One of the greatest contributions we can make to the environment is by conserving resources. Also, many visitors, many customers these days are very discerning and they are actively seeking out businesses with green credentials. Did you know that you can save 20% in costs? That's realistic for a tourism business, and that's equivalent to 5% extra sales. And let's not forget, it's about your quality of service, it's about your reputation, and it's about your image. And talking of image, isn't this village of Broadway absolutely beautiful?
My name is Debbie Sargent. I'm Marketing Manager at the Cotswold Conference Centre, which is on the Farncombe Estate near Broadway. And we are sitting here in a newly built courtyard of bedrooms, which has been built sustainably as far as we're concerned. This building was an opportunity for us to really push the boundaries of what we can do with sustainability. So we've introduced all sorts of renewables. That means ways of generating energy that reap us rewards, save money and reduce our energy outlay. The major one of these has been geothermal heating. We've laid pipes under the ground very near this building, over 5,000 square metres. We've also taken the water from our lake. We've cleaned this up and it becomes what's called grey water. So all the toilets, all the showers in this building use that grey water, so we're not actually having to take fresh water out of the system. Venues like ourselves are always looking for new ways to reduce waste, and of course recycling is one of the things we can do. We found back in 2006 we were getting through 12,000 bottles of water every year to make sure that our delegates had sparkling water, still water, they'd like to have bottled water. So what we've done is just install very simply a purifying system which takes our water, and it can put bubbles into it or not, so you can have still or sparkling water, and we reuse our bottles. It's a very simple system. It's a rental, it's very affordable, and it's something that actually quite small businesses can do. Other little things like taking a look at what we offer in the training rooms. We've taken our pens, and instead of having ordinary biros, we make them out of recycled paper. It's amazing what you can recycle, actually. E-marketing is the future as far as we're concerned, because we don't have to use up resources in order to get our messages across. And it's quite interesting. With something like Twitter, you can get across all sorts of green messages. It's no point businesses like ourselves coming up with big initiatives and not telling the world about it. You have to lead the way, you have to show it can be done, you have to encourage others. And we find that on the social media, including Facebook, LinkedIn, all the different strands, we connect with other people who are doing similar things to us. They give us their ideas, we encourage them, it works always round. We find increasingly that our clients, some of whom are the largest companies in the country, are looking for green suppliers, people who have fantastic credentials or awards like we do, who can promise that when they come to us, we're doing our very best to make sure that they are meeting their green objectives.
And there are some simple things that we can all do. As well as conserving water, it's also turning lights off, and those standby buttons, that wastes energy. And if you reduce your light bulbs from 50 to even 35 watt, that's going to make a difference too.
Hi, I'm Bob Lawrence, Director of Wildlife at the West Midlands Safari Park in Bewdley.
Hi Bob. The park holds the Silver Award for the Green Tourism Business Scheme. Can you tell me what you had to do to achieve that? Because I know it's not easy.
No, it's not, but it concentrated the minds of our green team wonderfully, and we had to look at what we're doing, how and why. And many of the things were very, very simple. Things like using plastic bags that can be recycled, solar units for the electric fencing, and electricity bulbs at the low energy. Many of these things are very, very simple once you sit down and get your mind to it.
And are you thinking of going for your gold?
Why not?
Is that going to be a big challenge for you?
It will be a big challenge, but that's what challenges are for.
Right, okay, that's great. Now, one of the things that interested me is that you've got something called an owl gadget in the reptile house. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, we tried it there because it's an area of very high energy use, all the heating and the infrared lamps and the things like that. So we thought we'd pop it in to monitor the electricity that we're using, and so we can, for instance, judge, well, in the first instance, see what we're using, where, when and why and at what time, what period of the year. And then we could, if we insulate the building, for instance, we could then judge how much we've saved and how much we are reducing the electricity input into the building.
Okay, that's excellent. And tell me a bit about your biodiversity work. The word is something I think we all hear, but we're not really sure what it is.
Yes, well, we have a statutory obligation in zoos to conduct research, education and conservation, both at home and abroad. And we've, for many years now, the West Midlands Safari Park, in conjunction with some fellow members of BIAZA, which is the British and Irish Association of Zoos and Aquarium, have been working with the World Land Trust in Brazil, for instance, restoring Atlantic rainforest. They have a fairly novel approach to conservation. They don't create more reserves. They and well, us, we are buying land to connect existing reserves to create land corridors. So animals, for instance, can move from A to B without causing problems on roads, trashing crops, or causing problems with villages. And between us, we've bought about 1,500 acres of Atlantic rainforest now to protect it, and that's working very, very well. We've also got other indirect links with the World Land Trust in the Philippines. We keep the Philippine spotted deer, which is a critically endangered deer. There's probably only about 300 of them. And again, the World Land Trust are working in the Philippines to protect their natural habitat. And every year we pay a levy of about €250 for every Philippine spotted deer that we keep. And that money goes back to the Philippines to protect and preserve the natural habitat. And I think the Philippine spotted deer group that we're part of are perhaps within a year now of putting some Philippine spotted deer back where they belong, into the Philippines.
What message have you got for other businesses that really want to reduce their impact on the environment and save these beautiful creatures that you're feeding there?
Well, a lot of our biodiversity work is also done in Namibia at our research centre, and Namibia is the last stronghold of the cheetah. I think the problem is we tend to live our lives at an equally fast pace, and we seldom get the opportunity to pause, step back and think what we're doing. For instance, did you know that 40% of what we buy in the shops has got palm oil in it? And palm oil production is the biggest single threat to the survival of the orangutan and tigers. And the European zoos have just recently won a battle with the European Parliament to get any products that contain palm oil labelled as such. So for 2014, anything containing palm oil will have that on its label, and that will enable people to stop and make their own decision about what they want to do and how they want to influence things. And I think businesses will need to be aware of that sort of thing.
Many tourism businesses are now developing an environmental policy. If you're going to do this, you need to consider a number of things. First of all, what's going to go into that policy? Get your staff involved, get them on board with the idea, get them enthused and inspired by it, and appoint yourself a green champion, somebody to lead the team. Also, get your customers involved so they know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. And you need to publicise your environmental policy. Put it on the web, for example.
I'm Katie McDonald, the Research and Conservation Officer at West Midlands Safari Park.
Katie, you use a brand of fair trade coffee called Puro. What's so special about it?
Well, Puro are working with the World Land Trust, which is an organisation that works directly to try and preserve rainforests and other ecologically threatened areas. And every kilogram of Puro coffee sold helps to buy up areas of the rainforest which can then be protected. So obviously for the safari park it was important that we got a brand of coffee that we felt was working for sustainable development.
Katie, I understand that you're chair of the Green team. So does this mean to say you're a green champion?
Well, it certainly means I've got to try and make everyone focus on the green issues. We've had the Green team here for a couple of years now, and it's really a group of managers from all over the park who try and think about the business practices and how we can make them more sustainable.
Is this something that you would recommend to other businesses?
I think that the Green team has certainly helped us focus. It's enabled us to get together a green policy and a way of working towards the goals that we set with the green policy. So I think it's important to get people from all over the company working on it and focusing on it.
Being sustainable means different things to different people. I think it's important not just to do it for the sake of the award. It should be an ongoing thing, a dynamic thing. Network with lots of people, talk to those businesses who've got their awards, find out what they did and how they continue to keep improving. Do you buy green? For example, what about your cleaning materials? Are they free of this? Bleach? Do you maybe use natural products like a lemon? Or 2 parts vinegar, 1 part bicarbonate of soda are great cleaning products. And what about your suppliers? Do they have an eco-friendly policy? And do you use eco-friendly cleaning companies? And how many eco-gadgets have you invested in? There are lots of them now being sold on the websites, and there are shops that are selling eco-gadgets. Things like hairdryers that don't use as much electricity, wind-up torches like this one, wind-up radios, solar panels. Now in the course of running a business, no doubt you'll be using lots of paper. Use recycled paper. Make sure the paper is totally chlorine-free, TCF. Similarly, avoid mineral-based inks. These can be very damaging to the environment. Look out for good deals on renewable cartridges. Destination Worcestershire are really keen to promote their Green Tourism Business Scheme. It's a national scheme set up in 1997, and I understand it's the largest of its kind in the world at the moment. There are 3 levels, bronze, silver and gold, and there's a lot of work goes into achieving any of these levels. Have a look at the details on the website given at the end of this video. Worcestershire's new flagship library and history centre, the Hive, might be unconventional, but it is a true green building. The natural energy from the River Severn will be used to cool the building in the summer and warm it in the winter, and it will be open to the public in July 2012. I hope you've all got some really great ideas on how to make your business greener. We can all look after our planet if we do our little bit. I'm Angelina Bowden, the 15-minute trainer. You don't have to be a tree hugger to care for the environment. Even the smallest of actions can make a big difference, and it can also save you money.